What is going on, guys? Welcome back to more WWE breaking news. WWE announced two big things today over on the Twitters. At WWE.com, they announced that Roman Reigns, in fact, will face The Undertaker. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But we're going to start off with a big one. Jack Swagger has been released from the WWE. Now, he floated the idea that he wanted to be released. He was announced for an indie show over in the UK. Unfortunately, because of the non-compete clause and everything that happened, he wasn't able to show up. His place was filled. And now it seems like WWE has granted his release, and I don't blame him whatsoever. When you see your good friends being able to find work, traveling the country all around, from the United States to Canada to New Japan to England, and you see that right now, because of all the expansion of wrestling, the most work has ever been available is now available to these talents. And I think it's fucking amazing. I think it's amazing that finally you have legit discussions where people are like the Young Bucks that are making good money realize, I'm making good money, I don't have to be in the Fed. And I think that's one of the good things right now about wrestling, that you can tour. Like, you can leave WWE and still make good money. It's definitely not WWE money, but you can make damn good money now outside of the WWE. And especially if you're one of the guys, a lot of people could say, how could you give up WWE? How could you just, even if you're not being used, like if you're one of the guys that are in like catering and not actually being used, how could you just give up all that downside money? How could you give up all this? But if you think about it, if you're not being used at tapings and part of your money is going for hotels, flights, everything, you're not really making that much, versus if you just left and did your own stuff, you could have promoters pay for that stuff and you could be making net profits. Maybe not as much, but you know, it's happiness, it's booking, it's finally being able to control it, because Jack Swagger stalled out in WWE. Now, I like Jack Swagger when he did his run. I thought it was good. But then he kind of stalled. He didn't really do anything after the whole Cesaro thing, and especially lately he hasn't done anything. But with the indie scene, he can easily leave, and former superstar Jack Swagger can do big things. Now, I joked about this. He could be called Swag Jacker. Think about it. Kind of like Damian Sandow, Mizdow, who left. He's doing the intellectual savior thing in the robe coming up at WrestleCon or down in Florida. Other guys are kind of doing offshoots of their gimmick. Cody Rhodes is happier than ever leaving the WWE. Drew Galloway, who left WWE and then eventually left TNA, is touring everywhere. He's a big name. Watching him in like Evolve, I got to see him live, was crazy. When I got to see Cody Rhodes live at Evolve, that was also just fucking crazy to me. And it's one of those things right now with the WWE basically having so much talent down there. Long-term guys are going to get released, but they're finally going to be able to go do that creative stuff they want to. It's like Bully Ray signed with Ring of Honor. And if you guys didn't know, this is other news too. Bully Ray signed with Ring of Honor, and then he went on at his first pay-per-view at Ring of Honor 15. And then him and the Briscoes, them boys, are now the six-man champions. So I think it's great that Bully Ray said, you know, I could have signed anywhere, but I went with Ring of Honor so I could finally be creative. I can tell my stories. And as an independent wrestler, being able to get paid for it and also have somewhat control over your booking versus, well, you can collect a check from WWE, but then, you know, whatever they've got for you is what you have to deal with. And that's not the case with like Alberto El Patron, who was able to go wherever working, and then Paige is following him around and everything that's going on. So I think it is smart for a guy like Jack Swagger. Swag Jacker, use the name, Jack. I'm telling you. You can come out all dressed up, you can beat people, and you can be like, I jacked your swag. Like, you could go up in all the promotions against all the guys that are like dressed up in swag attire, and you could just be like, you could just jack their swag, bro. I mean, pay me for the idea. I need some money. And then you have the big news. It's technically going to be a main event. Any match with Undertaker is a main event, and it is Roman Reigns. Now, here's the thing I fear. A lot of people are having the notion that this is a match Vince McMahon has wanted for the longest time. That's why it's happening. It's probably true. And I don't blame them. Too many fans right now are caught up with the fact that we hate Roman Reigns. So even though he's going to be a guy that's going to be around for 5+ years, you know, you can't just keep shitting on. Like, you kind of got to let some stuff play out and see where it's going to go. It's the same thing I'm saying with the AJ Styles, Shane McMahon feud. I pitched, which you guys can go check out my booking, a great fantasy idea that people seem to be loving for AJ Styles having a match against Shane and what it could lead to. And that's what story is in WWE. And it's a very interesting thing. I'm hearing all the people already. All the people on the internet are already saying that if Roman Reigns beats The Undertaker, it's over. It's done. They're never going to watch until they secretly tune in on Monday Night Raw the very next night. And that's a big deal. WWE can do this to fans. WWE essentially can abuse fans all year long and then Mania, they could do something big, and then it'll trap fans again back into watching until SummerSlam, which they'll complain about, Extreme Rules, Backlash, Money in the Bank, stuff that happens. But when SummerSlam comes around and they give you like a Finn Balor win or something like that, you again, oh, well, all the backstage stuff doesn't matter. Hell yeah. So I think when it comes to Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker, if you're one of the people that are making this statement that if Roman Reigns wins, I'm not going to watch WWE, you shouldn't be watching WWE at all. I get that people hate Roman Reigns. But if one person in the company is going to drive you away from watching a product, are you watching the product or only watching for something else? Because Roman Reigns is only one part of the show. There's going to be, 10, 12, 13, 14 matches on the WrestleMania card. And if you are blatantly making a statement that if Undertaker loses, I will not watch WWE anymore, it's like, what about the other 13 matches on the card? Like, people give WWE crap for not showing talents that deserve it stuff. Well, what are you showing by saying, just because I hate Roman Reigns, even though there's 100 other wrestlers in the company, there's bullshit that Undertaker lost, so I'm not going to watch anymore. Like, if you understand how stupid that sounds, like, in the moment, you can be super upset, like, I can't believe they fucking did that. Damn. And then you boo them because that's what WWE is. It's a reaction. Use that to convey a story. If you hate the fact that Roman Reigns beats Taker, but he does it in a heelish way, then boo, then caw, then make the biggest noise possible at WrestleMania, but kind of let the story fold out. And I get why Roman Reigns gets a lot of the hate. The way he has been booked is a little bit, especially when you're a fan, but you have to think about it. He's a former 3-time champion. If we were in any other era with the Attitude, if you had a former 3-time champion, you would expect them to pick up wins pretty easily. Right? They have a pedigree of a champion. Like, you wouldn't expect Triple H to face a guy back in the day like, let me just throw out the Hurricane. And you wouldn't constantly keep bitching, oh, Triple H is burying Hurricane. No, Triple H was a fucking multi-time champion, and you believe he's a champion. Roman Reigns is a fucking champion. He's a 3-time former WWE champion. He's got pedigree, he's got history, he's got reason to beat other people. Yes, I wanted John Cena versus The Undertaker. Yes, I didn't want Roman Reigns versus Taker. But at the end of the day, it's a match. There's 13 or 14 other matches on the card. There's NXT. There's so much in WWE. And if you're one of the people that are making a statement that, if he wins, I'm done, man, should you be watching in the first place? Let me know in the comment section below. If one match takes out the whole pay-per-view for you, what are you really watching it for? Maybe you're just the biggest Undertaker fan. And then maybe for some people, because I have one friend that only likes The Undertaker. The only reason she watches WrestleMania is for The Undertaker. And if Undertaker loses or is gone, she has no reason to keep watching. If you're like that, I 100% get it. If you watch just for Taker, boom, you get it. I understand it, and that makes more sense. But if that match takes you out of everything else, even though all the other performers are putting their bodies on the line and everything, that just kind of bugs me and irritates me. Then let's move on and talk about two guys that are right now out with injury. So Kane asked for time off because Kane is going to be running for a mayoral election in 2018, but he's also got some nagging injuries according to reports. I also didn't know he runs an insurance agency called the Jacobs Agency, which if you think about it, Kane running an insurance agency is pretty fucking funny. Just rad. But then also there's speculation about Rusev. You know, Rusev was in a storyline and then eventually got paired with Jinder for a while, and then they turned. Well, it seems like he may have to undergo the knife for surgery. Now, I don't know if this is like a red herring, if they threw this out there, but this is kind of a big blow. Like, I like Rusev. I like Lana. I think they could have had a good spot at WrestleMania. I think right now it's probably looking like the Battle Royale because I don't think they're going to put him and Jinder in a match at WrestleMania. But still, losing Rusev. I know some people don't care about Kane, even though I have a definitive proof of Kane and Big Show being a... I'm not going to even get into it. So Kane and Rusev are gone. Now, Kane you can kind of forget about, but Rusev, that kind of sucks. And I know the way he's been booked lately, people may not care as much. But if he's been dealing with nagging injuries, that could be a sign why they weren't actually booking him. And leaving just goes to show you, man, even the top superstars. Like, look what happened to Rusev, how he slimmed down. He changed. Rusev is evolving. Like, Rusev gets it, and I love Rusev. From what he started with to how he's been able to evolve slowly but surely and become a great talent, I think is fucking phenomenal. So I hope Rusev doesn't need to be gone for a long time. I hope he's able to get a surgery. Maybe he doesn't need it. Maybe he's just got a rehab. I don't know. but eventually get back and do something big, because I definitely do love Rusev. I definitely think he can be used to help kind of put over other guys. I think he can be used to really showcase a lot of the, kind of like Sami Zayn. Like, if you remember when Rusev was choking everybody out and like Mark Henry would try to fight out of it and he couldn't, and all those other guys, an underdog role, like somebody like Sami Zayn beating Rusev, like if Rusev was booked properly, I think would be cool. So let me know what you think in the comment section below about Rusev being hurt. Are you upset that Rusev's going to be hurt? I don't know. But I think that'll wrap it up for the WWE news for right now. The screens went dead. That means it's time to turn out the lights. So until next time, it's your boy Tubby Emo. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smack that thumbs up button. And until next time, we will see you all later.